um, that will get you to where you want to be. Okay. So my purpose for this call tonight is I want to share with you a little tidbit of what I learned at uh, Emerald Extravaganza this week, but I'm incorporating it into a tweaking of our processes that I think is going to really, 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 really help us grow really quickly while y'all are working on building belief and so forth. Okay, so that's two parts to the call. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about the belief, and then I'm going to talk about the processes. So, one thing that I see very commonly is everyone starts this business and wants to know how to do the business. How do I get to Jewel? How do I share? How do I get my team to share? And what is that person? What's that special thing that that person is doing to get to Jewel? We've heard this so many times. I have anyway, over the years. This has been talked to us from other Jewels when we're at Jewel training, actually, because that's how common this theme is. How do I do it? Just show me how, and I will do the work, and then I will get there and everyone will be happy, right? But what gets hard is when the processes are implemented and they don't work for you. They're not working for you. Now, you might wonder, like, why are you getting trained on processes that don't work for you? Because the processes actually work, but depending upon how they are implemented by each individual is where the hiccups come about. Why does this happen? When we were in Hawaii this last week, we were trained by an internationally renowned expert in generational thinking and behavior, Jason Dorsey. I'm going to train more on this, but not tonight. He is an expert on teaching you what are the thought processes of the various generations, the millennials, the Gen Xers, the Gen Zers, etc. And how do you need to change the way that you are talking to them in order for them to really hear the message you're trying to communicate. So we'll get to that later. But he asked us all in this room of hundreds of people. We were all sitting at circular tables. There was about 10 of us to a table, and it was spread out through the whole room. And he said, what is the worst advice you've ever been given? So we all had to write this down, and then we went around the table and we shared. And then he selected randomly all over this room, like 6 or 7 different people to stand up and share what was the worst advice they'd ever been given. And several of them shared some unique things different than what I did, but the majority of them said some semblance of what I said, which I thought was really strange because of what I thought what I said was unique. And here's what I said. The worst advice I ever was given was from a high school counselor who told me that I should give up on college because I was not college material. And the best I could expect to do is work at a mill because, of course, mill work is very monotonous. It doesn't take too much thinking. And so he was basically insinuating that I didn't have the brains to do much with my life. And it turned out that the majority of the people stood up and said something similar to that. Somebody in their life had came in and said, you're going to be a really good mom someday, and you should just love that role. It's going to be great for you. If you think you really need to be a teacher, I suppose you could think about doing that. At least you'll have your summers off to still be the good mom that you should be. Right. So basically giving her identity. Another gentleman stood up and said that he was in a college course for a really hard, like calculus or chemistry course, something to that degree. And the teacher gave them all a test and they all bombed the test. And she walked back in the room and said something very, very snooty. I won't go into the story. But then she said, any of you in this room who are on the track to be a doctor need to find a new degree because you will never make it. And he was sharing the story. And then he said, and today I stand before you as a doctor of physical therapy. And everybody clapped. And it was a good moment. But the reason I'm sharing that with you guys is because my takeaway from that was, wow, I didn't realize so many people had that type of negative impact in their life, especially at a young age, and had to overcome that stuff. Like, we all bring fears to the table. My number one fear that I feel like people bring to the table with multi-level marketing is that other people might judge them for being in a multi-level marketing business, right? But I actually think it's now going through that this last week. I'm like, actually, my team's probably walking around with far deeper insecurities and self-doubt based on that one person in your life that at some point limited you in what you thought you were capable of accomplishing. And maybe what they limited you to was a 4-year degree and a teacher position, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it's still a limitation that's placed on us by other people's belief of limitations. I did the same thing with my son, quite honestly, which is kind of embarrassing. But I did that with my son in his basketball career desires. Anyway, so I wanted to bring that up to you guys tonight because those are the types of experiences that we have in our general life that, when combined with multi-level marketing opportunity, which is something that many refer to as a Ponzi scheme, and all, as like a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme. Your friends might be thinking this, and that's what you might know in your mind. You might have heard that negativity, and all of a sudden your mind says, be careful not to touch the hot stove, right? It doesn't want you to fail or to step into something that is outside of reality, or that would set you up for some sort of a failure. And your brain goes into its protective mechanisms. They go into full swing and they want to pull you back, which causes you to show up with less confidence, less assertiveness in talking to other people, and in a way that our hearts are not absolutely on 100%, this is a sure thing. And when you show up with that lack of confidence and lack of assertiveness, as compared to something that you really, really know without a doubt in your mind is a for sure thing that you feel really confident in, you show up differently for that than you do for something that your brain is already going, hold up, careful, careful, you don't want to get burned here. And that lack of that protective mechanism in your brain is working against you to believe in what it is you are doing. And you can learn all the processes in the world around this business, but if belief is not at a really, really high level, this is what is going to end up being your roadblock. This is what is going to cause your business to slow down and not be like just boom, boom, boom. We're going to rank advance tomorrow, and then the next day, and then the next day. And all my people are going to want to do this with me. I'm going to be a great vision caster. They're all going to see it the way I see it. When that lack of belief is present, that becomes the hurdle that makes the processes feel like they're not working, that they're the wrong processes. It's not really that the processes are wrong. It's where the place from which you are coming from. And that's when the business gets hard. People think too much in the beginning, especially when presenting others with the opportunity, and it gets in the way of them reaching their own success. There are thoughts of, what if this doesn't really work? And am I setting my friends up for their own failure, and then they will end up hating me? What if they look at me as caving to a dream that is really a scheme, right? What if my friends are looking at me that way? Those that become Jewel believe they can be a Jewel. They believe in this opportunity very deeply, as I had mentioned about myself earlier, and they see that what we have to offer, they see what we have to offer, and that it can happen for hundreds of others. It can happen for them too. So that room that was full of Jewels last week, those are all just regular old people that worked hard enough to not give up on themselves, even when they didn't necessarily believe. That's really what that room is full of. And those people all have to continue to grow in their own belief of themselves, and to grow their vision for what their life can create. Okay, because this is a pretty big business. Not too many businesses do you go in where you have the opportunity to earn the things that we have to earn. First class 5-star resort vacations and 7-figure incomes and multiple 6-figure incomes. that can actually be hard for your brain to register as you being capable of achieving that. And it can put up some thoughts that are very, very scary that then get in the way of how you show up to present yourself to other people. So I'm just going to go off my notes again because I don't want to miss anything. I wrote down for you guys, what happens when a lack of belief causes you to lack success in your business? This is where it gets super real. This is where you have to know you want what your why, the why you are doing this business so badly. If it's your time freedom, your ability to be stay at home with your kids, to travel the world, to make a difference in some way, to adopt a child, whatever it is that is saying, I want this. It has to be, you want your why so badly, you will do what it takes to get to that. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. The answer is not, this isn't working and I have tried everything. Until someone tells me something different, I'll just keep doing the same thing, which was what I was told to do. And we will just see if something happens eventually. That is the mindset that a lot of people take in this business, and that usually does not lead them very far, because if what they have been doing has not been working, and that's as much as they're willing to put in to the efforts of this business, then usually they'll come out with the same outcome and nothing will work, and eventually they will fall off. It's actually about shifting your brain and saying, look, this isn't working. What do I have to do? Where do I have to find the resources that are going to give me the answers, that are going to help me learn new skill sets, that are going to help me build my belief, that are going to help me show up in a better way? Who can I ask questions to? And if she gives me an answer and that doesn't work, I'm going to go back for the next answer and the next answer. And I am going to show up every single day, consistently growing my skill sets, belief, and all that I need to know about being the leader that I need to be to make this happen for myself and for my team. I'm 100% committed to that. My social media needs to represent that mindset. If what I'm putting out on social media is having no effect, none of my posts, whether they're personal or Plexus, then I know I need to make improvements there. And by golly, I'm going to find a way to make that improvement, regardless of what is happening right now, regardless of the little success that I see, because I know that this is a path that works if we work the path and if we put in that effort. Okay. So that shift of mindset puts you in a position that's usually similar to other areas of your life that you're less afraid to commit to. Okay. So this would be like if you got a teaching degree and you went to a bunch of different interviews to become a teacher and you kept getting turned down for that interview for the various jobs, right? Well, you already made up your mind that you were going to be a teacher, and by golly, you're going to figure out a way to become a teacher, right? You're not going to throw away your 4-year degree and your efforts at your first few interviews, and you're probably going to say to yourself, that's not working. So either my interview skills need to be corrected, or maybe I'm showing up in the wrong dress attire. You know, maybe it's some young bushy girl that shows up in a mini skirt every single time. That's not really working for her interview. And I'm going to find out, I'm going to ask questions. Who can help me figure out where I'm going wrong in my interviews? You're not just going to give up. And that's kind of the attitude you have to bring to the table. It's not kind of, it absolutely is the same attitude that you would go out there and be steadfast and going after a teaching degree, being a really, really good parent, knocking it out of the park as a single mom, whatever it is that you have gone and done in your life and you've been steadfast about, that's the same energy you have to bring to the table when you are shown processes in this business. And eventually that will build enough belief. Your practicing of your skill set will build enough skill level, and you are going to turn out a much better success level over time. One thing I want to say about time, and then we'll move on to the processes I talked about, is that time is also your enemy in some ways when it comes to this mindset issue. Because if you make time relevant, if you make time relevant and have meaning toward whether or not you can actually achieve the successes you want in this business, and then that time passes, it's an opportunity for your brain to say, see, you're not good enough. You can't do this, and it doesn't work for you. So to some degree, you want to create goals that set timeframes and you want to work toward that, but you also don't want time to be an absolute, that it rules the determination of what your outcome is for this business. So I'm going to pause a second before I shift into the processes that I really want to, it's the good stuff. It's the good stuff that's coming out of tonight. But I want to pause a minute and just share with you or ask a question. Does any of this resonate with you guys? I would love, 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 love for you to be very open and honest. It's going to be helpful for yourself and for your uplines, for me as a leader to hear if like, yeah, I totally got that. I see myself as standoffish in certain situations because I'm worried about whether I know what I'm doing, or I'm worried about whether or not this is the real deal, or if I can make it the real deal. Would you guys be willing to share a little bit about whether or not that resonated with you?
The processes part resonated with me. I mean, we've talked a lot. So, I mean, we've chatted about how what I was doing is obviously not working now. So I've got to shift and maneuver and figure out what to do going forward. And that's why I've been working on my leadership also, because it all goes hand in hand. So I've
Yes,
been
it does.
trying, yes. And we've established I'm very type A. I'm just very direct. Go do this, do this, do this. And I need to be better about that. So
Yes. So with Hannah, she has grown really, really fast in her points and her bank advancements. And everybody's journey is different. So if I did what Hannah did when she came into this business, I would not have grown to Jewel in 9 months. That would not have happened, because the reason that Hannah was able to grow so quickly, one of the reasons, is she had many, 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 many people that she knew, that she had influence over, that were willing to get started on products because they trusted her. Therefore, if she didn't have an enormous amount of duplication, it was okay because she had so many people to talk to. I had a teeny tiny amount of people to talk to. And if I didn't figure out duplication right away, which I didn't even realize that's what I was supposed to be doing, it just came naturally because duplication comes out of passion and confidence and belief in what you were doing. Let me tell you guys, when I went into my Sapphire breakfast, so we were given a special Sapphire breakfast for being first time rank ups. And one of the girls got into that group. This is going to be great for Sharon. And she spoke. She's a brand new Emerald Jewel, and she started this business in 2015. And she is a business owner. And initially, her upline was her best friend, and she walked into her office of the business that she owned, and she said, "Listen, girl, I'm going to do this, and you're going to do this with me, period." That is belief at its finest. And that's the level of boldness that you can walk around with when you do believe in yourself and you look at something like Plexus and go, this is ridiculous, which it is. This is a ridiculous opportunity. And when you can walk into somebody and say it like that, because you know in your heart of hearts it actually is that good, that's when you get people to perk up their ears and go, okay, what are you talking about? And that's exactly what this girl did. She said, what are you talking about? Show me what you got. And her upline sponsor showed her what she had, and she said, awesome, I'm all in. This was 2015. Okay. She ranked up to senior gold just like that. Not a problem. Now, for those of you who are unaware of this, in 2016, we had a major issue at corporate with our IT department. It had impacted all of our teams. Okay. So she didn't say this in the meeting, but I'm guessing that's what happened with her, because she went senior gold really fast, 2015. And then she said some things happened and she let her business fall. Okay. She went back to her other business. She was like, it's fine, whatever. I've got some people on product. And she basically gave up on her overall dream. A couple years ago, this sponsor came back to her and she said, look, her sponsor's a diamond, by the way. And she came back to her and she said, look, the only thing standing between you and being a jewel in Plexus, you where you are right now, which she's in a position that she doesn't want to be in her business, and being where you want to be as a jewel with time freedom and impact and unlimited income, is you. You're the only thing standing in your way. The fact that you won't just make a decision and believe in yourself is standing in your way. And so she took that to heart, made a couple posts, people started signing, and then she up-leveled herself and said, I'm all in. I am doing this. It is mine as much as it is anybody else's. And this weekend she stood before us, or last week, as an emerald jewel. I love that story for so many reasons. One of them being that it doesn't matter when you decide to believe in yourself. The point is, when you do, you will go. When you believe so deeply that this is where you are supposed to be and this is what you are supposed to have, you will make every time you can to figure out all of those nuances that you need to change up. And so with Hannah, she's got that belief. Praise Jesus. And by the way, if you are underneath Hannah, you are one lucky dog. Let me just tell you, because that belief is the critical piece of the puzzle. If you can't tell already by this conversation, she has it. Now she just has to shift a few things because her belief is really, really high in the business or herself. Her belief got a little bit staggered when it came to talking to her level ones about running with the business. Totally normal. And guess what? We're working together and we're going to shift that. And she will grow through that. And she will be a freaking rock star. Well, she already is, but even more rock star. So I don't even know where I was going with that. But what I wanted to use Hannah as an example is like, you can do and grow even with less belief. You can still be moving forward while you're building your belief, and then you can move forward again and again and again. And it goes along with what I had shared about my story. Anyone else have any thoughts you want to share? Please do not hesitate to be open here. Because I know every single one of you has fear. You know, I know that, right? And if you share it and you open up about it, you don't have to do it here, but I'm just going to tell you, the more you're willing to open up and talk about it with your upline or on a call like this, the more it is going to release you from that fear. And it is going to help you to use us to pour into you and to help you, give you other perspective that will shift how you're thinking and what might be holding you back and the roadblocks that are present. So the call will be open to you for you to say anything anytime. Feel free to even interrupt me. I don't really care. I'd rather you talk about it than hold back.
I know my biggest issue lately has been like people saying that they can't financially afford the products. And I mean, because they see what they're doing for me, because when it comes to the products, like I am a firm believer in the products. Like I've had some horrible health issues over the last few years, and Plexus has completely changed my life. And family and friends and everybody that are around me on a regular basis, like they know that I believe in Plexus and that I'm going to continue to take this stuff regardless of if I could afford it or not. And everybody's like, oh, I need to do it. I want in, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then we get down to, talking about it. And it's like, I just can't afford it right now. And I try to go, through all that, like, well, what do you afford right now? Like, what are some things that, you're spending money on that aren't worth what you're spending it on, and you can spend it on investing in your health and feeling better. And I guess I just haven't quite figured out how to get around that yet and get them to believe in it the way that I do, that you would carve out a budget to be able to afford it if you really wanted to feel better and have the health benefits that I have had with it.
Have you said that to them?
Yeah.
You said that statement to
Oh,
them?
yeah.
That's pretty good of you. Good job. Are you using three-way chats?
I haven't really used
I
much of
figured
it.
that. Okay, so let me interrupt. That here is a scenario where it sounds like you have a lot of belief and a lot of boldness. I definitely did not expect you to say that. Yes, I've said that to my family or my friends. That is very bold. Good job. You are on track where all of that is concerned. What you need right now is third-party validation. And I can assure you, Sharon can assure you, Ashley can assure you, Gwen can assure you. One time I had Gwen, who is a senior gold, and she had been with me for quite a while, and she had stuck out a bunch of messages for 3-day samples and was even getting people saying that they were going to order and then they weren't ordering, and she was super frustrated. And then she basically allowed me to do a 3-way chat with her. It wasn't as direct. She actually screenshot me what was happening, and then I told her what to say. Okay. But in your case, you want the person directly in the conversation. I'll tell you why in a second. By the time we were done working together, it didn't take long, less than an hour, I would say we worked together. I think she sold like 3 to 5 3-day samples, actually sold, actually purchased. It makes a tremendous difference when you are working with your upline, with somebody who's helping you in a 3-way chat. I mean, like, it is literally from no, 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 no to, okay, yep, we got this. Yep, let's do this. The most powerful aspect of 3-way chats is you are getting third-party validation. Nobody is going to believe you in the same way that they'll believe that third person who comes into the chat and validates that these products really do what it's not like a one-time fluke for you, and is able to overcome the objections of money for you. That third-party validation is super duper powerful. So that's not for you. It's not so much a belief situation right now. It's a process situation. And honestly, when you hear me talk about the process here in a few seconds, that's what I'm going to talk about. We are going to roll out a brand new how to get your products paid for, and we are going to dive into 3-way chats. And these are the 2 main functions we are going to focus on like nobody's business. Nobody on this call is going to not know how to do this in a very short period of time, because you're going to be doing it so often. It's just going to be the only thing you're going to focus on. So you will master it a lot quicker, and it will be very easy to do. Does that help you? Okay. What I'm doing here for you, Barb, is I'm trying to grow your belief in 3-way chats. Because if you aren't doing them, you've either not been told about them, or you question whether or not you should be doing them. Like in your head, you're like, do you really do that? Are my friends going to want to go into a 3-way chat? Like, how does that work? And is it comfortable? I don't think they want to talk to somebody else. Like, those things can come up, and that's a lack of belief in 3-ways. 3-ways are the entire way that I got to Jewel. 3-way chats. I did thousands of them over the course of my career. Seriously. I used to have like 6 chats going at one time. I would be up till 2 o'clock in the morning in 3-way chats as I was going Jewel. It was crazy, but it works. Does anyone else? And by the way, Barb, anything that you have going on right now, who's your sponsor?
I believe it's directly is Caitlin, but Hannah has been doing a lot of.
Yep. Okay, so what you want to do here is screenshot your conversations. Typically, I do about 3 of them at a time. Give them to Caitlin or Hannah, however Hannah directs you after the call. And they're going to tell you how to pick up those conversations, meaning re-engage those people and get them started into a conversation again. Okay. And this could mean like they're going to try to just jump into the conversation and redirect it. It could mean we're going to get a sample in her hand and we're going to start from there. There's a number of ways to go about it, but make sure that you screenshot and get those conversations going again.
Okay.
Anybody else want to say anything? And trust me, you're not going to be on very long for the process part. It's very easy. Just going to throw it out to you guys and we're going to run with it. Anything? Okay. So for the process, this is nothing gigantically new that you haven't heard pieces of, or we haven't even implemented some of this already. It's been done, okay? But here's why I'm tweaking it a little bit. Many people that come onto this team, the hardest thing that they have to do in the process is to turn around to the person that just signed up and say, hey, you should share our products in some way, shape, or form, right? We've given lots of different language for how to do this, but it is a very scary thing for most people to start to do. So in order to make it less scary, rolling them out to share their products in an event, I am going to start doing Monday through Thursday, 4 days of how to get your products paid for. It's going to be a weekly chat, Monday through Thursday. And every day I'm going to drop one task, just one. It's going to be super easy for the person because somebody that is going to invite other people has a life and they signed on to get products, not to like have all of their time taken up trying to share Plexus. So every day we'll have one super easy thing for them to do. And on Thursday night, we will have an event. So each of those 4 days is leading up to them inviting to the events. It's all the activities you all have already been trained on to help people do that, but it's going to be coming from me. I will take care of those actions for you, and they will be in a group setting that will help them seem like this is just the normal thing to do versus you trying to get one individual to work through what you're telling them to do. And it's going to be third-party validation, right? For me to be doing this for you, it's like, oh, our leader does this every week. You just pop yourself in here. She'll teach you how to do this. By Thursday night, we're going to be on our way of getting you your products paid for. That is going to roll into the next week of getting their products paid for with 3-way chats. So let me give you, what does this actually look like? You're going to go to your person on your team and you're going to say, oh my gosh, girl, you've been doing so amazing on these products. And I am loving watching your journey. But I know that one of the biggest hurdles for people actually getting to their final goal is budget. So many people eventually say, I just can't do this. And right now it's getting really tough for people because of inflation issues, right? So what my leader is doing starting next week is helping people get their products paid for. It's really easy. And she's going to set up a chat group. And each day, Monday through Thursday, she's going to show you one super simple task to do. One task every day. And by Thursday night, we're going to have you on your way to getting your products paid for by sharing with your friends. She's going to show you how to do that. Then, can I add you to the chat? Are you good with that? Let's roll, right? You have to do this confidently, guys. You got to do this with a sense of excitement and passion. I'm going to put all of this language on a piece of paper so you can practice it, by the way, or copy and paste it. You are way better off if you practice it and voice message yourself. So basically you pull up your telephone, you create a chat group for yourself. You search out Tanya Stewart or Barb Frog or Hannah Logger. And once your chat is there, you voice message yourself what you want to say to the other person, okay? And the reason you do it that way is that's basically you practicing. And if you record a voice message that you love, you just forwarded it to that person, okay? I say that because voice message is what gets across the passion and the excitement that you really want them to hear versus just a copy and pasted message that you send them, okay? So even though I'm going to write it up for you, I want you to practice it and send it on voice message. So that's an example of somebody who's already on and has been having a good time on their journey. What if you've got somebody who just got started? It's the same thing, you're just going to tweak it. Hey, I know you just got started on your products. You're excited. I'm excited. You're going to love this journey. The only thing is, I've seen many people have to fall short on reaching their goal because of budget issues. We never want budget to get in the way of you reaching your health goals. So what we have for you is a how to get your products paid for chat group. Every single day, my leader drops one super simple task, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's, you just tweak it according to who you're talking to. If you sign somebody this week, it's very similar to what I just said. Again, I'll write this all out on a piece of paper. Here's where it gets really beautiful, you guys. Thursday night rolls around, you get into the event ends, you tell your person, awesome job. You had, 3 friends in your event. That is great. What you want to do now is put those 3 people in a 3-way chat. Explain to them how to do that. If they don't know how to create a 3-way, the introduction is going to be obviously, hey, I added my friend into the chat to check back in with you and see what you thought about the products, because I'm super new at this and she has all the knowledge and I want to make sure you get your your questions answered. That's going to roll out and you're going to close the sale. This is in a perfect situation, right? You're closing the sale. Once that sale is closed in that 3-way chat, guess what you're going to say? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. Your products are going to be here in 3 to 5 days. In the meantime, I have something special for you, because one of the things that always happens for people short of them getting to their goal is they get concerned about budget. You're going to need to order these every month for a few months to really get to your goal. And so what we do is a how to get your products paid for chat group. It starts on Monday. Boom. You're rolling right back into them for your level 1, so they don't have to be worried and afraid of how to make this happen right off the bat, right? That does a couple of things. Number 1, it duplicates. Number 2, it sets the tone for 3-way chats. Now all of your people have been in a 3-way chat and they should feel fairly comfortable with it. From that moment forward, with that person, you're going to offer them the opportunity to keep going. Not everyone is, but you want to offer that. Again, I'll write this all out. And how they keep going is, now that you've got a few friends on board, let's make a Facebook post for you tomorrow and share that you've been able to help your friends and see if any others want your help too. Okay, so now you're going to roll that event into more sharing. And from there, we can move forward and we'll coach you how to move forward from that. The last piece of this puzzle is, when people start to go gold on this team now, I want them automatically enrolled in either a leadership book club or a leadership class. Okay. I used to roll out leadership classes. Ashley definitely, I believe, was part of this. I'm not 100% sure if Sharon was part of this way back when Sharon, my sister and I used to roll out the classes in group page settings. And we would give homework assignments daily, and we had tons of rank advancements. So I talked to my sister at Hawaii this week, and she mentioned this to me. Currently, by the way, FYI side note, Hannah and Sharon and I are doing a 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership book club right now. So right now we are already in a book club, but my sister had mentioned, and so I told my sister that, and she said, well, do you remember those group things that we used to do? Because I will tell you, the number one thing my older team members talked to me about is how amazing those leadership group classes were. And I said, yes, I absolutely remember. We had rank advancements like crazy. So I'm going to kind of mull over this. I'm going to look at our old group pages and the information that was on that. I personally thought they were exceptional ways of growing your leadership. Why is this important at gold? Getting to gold can be relatively easy. Y'all, if you think about it, if you found a level 1 who shared starting Monday, got some people into next week's event, and they signed 3 people. The following Monday, we take those 3 people and we train them how to get their products paid for, and they put people into the event on the following Thursday night. They're probably going to be halfway to gold already in 2 weeks' time. It does not take that long to get to gold, and it can be done without having to push up against any huge issues of belief, or can I make this happen for me? Am I the right leader? But once you are at gold, I think it is essential. This can even be done at senior silver. Honestly, if you're a leader and you want your people in there at senior silver, it is essential for you to start diving into self-growth and leadership learning, because that is really the area that you grow your ability to lead your team and, in essence, discover where your roadblocks are and how to tear down those roadblocks so you can show up as the best person you need to be for your team to learn from, if that makes sense. So you want to be doing that simultaneously to the process. So if you understand what I'm putting together here is very simple, easy processes that can be done by anyone, whether you have a high level of belief or not, and then implementing an avenue from which you can build your leadership and belief simultaneously as your team grows. That way, you're not just boom, 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 growing through your ranks and your belief and your belief isn't as high, or maybe those roadblocks, those mental roadblocks are still really, really high. And then you're at a level where you cannot grow any further without tackling them. And then all of a sudden you're getting started with your leadership. I want that to be simultaneous for you guys because it's going to create a very solid foundation. Okay. On the side of the processes, how to get your products paid for, Thursday night event, roll it out into the three-way chats, roll that into another how to get your products paid for on Monday. Does anyone have thoughts around that? Like good, bad, confusion, questions, anything?
I'm curious, have you thought about what to say or how to approach someone if they say, no, I don't want to do that? I don't want put in that three-way chat or that group chat to get my products paid for. I mean, I think it's weird, but I think there's going to be some fear that comes up.
Okay.
Like, what? Am I thinking too much? I'm just saying. You've been coaching me. I'm just saying. That's what you would say to
Golden
me.
child. Okay. You just gave me
Well,
the
it's true. I know
No,
it will happen. And if it happens to someone, it'll happen to me.
No. Oh my gosh, you just gave me so much fuel, girlfriend. So much
What?
fuel. Yes, you guys, I am not kidding you. What you say and what you think is what you are going to bring about on your team.
I know.
I don't care if it is possible. It is possible that somebody along the way might reject the opportunity to get their products paid for. I don't want you thinking about it for a single second. I don't want you preparing for it necessarily. I don't want you saying what happens when this happens because it's going to happen. No, those thoughts, get them out the door.
So
I
we just
can't do this.
screenshot you if it does happen.
You go ahead and screenshot me. I will talk to that girlfriend and she will get her products paid for.
I'm trying to be realistic.
I know you
Kind
are,
of.
but the reality is you're holding on to pessimistic thought processes, which are, will this really work? Are people really going to want to share? I'm afraid people won't want to share. There's lots of fear there around people aren't going to want to do this. People aren't going to want to share. People aren't going to want to do this. And that is the energy that is going to show up. I'm just being honest, Hannah, because that's
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I think I was not the only one maybe thinking it though.
No, you weren't. You 100%.
I'm like, anybody else want to be like,
People-
yeah, I kind of thought it
People who
too.
stay the quietest are usually the ones that have the most self-doubt. Not saying for sure, but I'm just saying it can happen.
I
that
would
way.
agree that that's the reason why I don't pull people into three-way chats, because some of them I know really well. Like I've known them through childhood, one in particular that I could think of, and she's just gonna be like, I don't need to talk to somebody else. Like, if I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't, I don't.
Okay.
know.
Let me ask you something. Are you saying that that's what her response will be, or are you saying you asked her to do a three-way chat and that is what her response was?
No, we've had her in a three-way chat with Hannah before, and she's so adamant that she wants to try these products, and I've offered her samples, and she wants me to buy her products through me for her to have them, and she'd just Venmo me instead of her becoming a part of.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay,
She's
that's
my
what you
best
need to
friend.
find
She's
out.
been my best friend since 5th grade. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I asked her, I'm like, you see how much I believe in this stuff, what it's done for me. And she believes that it has benefits, and I've talked to her about it. I'm like, you're gonna get more benefits by signing up as a VIP and becoming a member and getting all your products for a discount and having perk points and things that you can get free
Mhm.
products. I mean, I've went through the whole thing with her and she just, I don't get it.
Okay, but Barb, have you asked her why she doesn't want to become a member?
Yeah.
And what does she say?
She just says that it would be easier if I bought her products and she paid me.
And have you told her that that's not the way that we do business?
I mean, I explained to her, I was like, it will not work out that way. You're gonna get so much more benefit from being a member, from being a VIP. And I, like, I'll pay for your membership. If it's,
Mhm.
the yearly membership, you don't
Won't do
want to.
that either, but yeah, you don't have to pay for
But
a
I'm
membership.
just like, just to get going and to get your products, like, I just don't get it. Why some people, they want it, but they don't want to take that leap to just do it.
I would probably go back to her one more time and say, look, I know you buy a lot of hey, do you buy other products online? Do you buy products online? Say that to your friend. And then when she says, well, yeah, all the time, because she's going to, because we all do, right? You're saying,
Yeah.
do you contact that company and tell them to order the products themselves for you and you'll just Venmo them, or do you just order their products online? Because the way the world works is you do it for all the other companies, but you won't do it for our products. So that tells me there might be another reason why you're not wanting to process this through for yourself. Let me ask you something. Are you concerned that once you become a member, you're going to you're going to be obligated to order product every month? You're going to get overcharged? You're going to be stuck in something that you can't get out of? Are those fears that you're having about becoming a member and just ordering the same way you would order off of for Amazon and anything else? Ask her that question, okay? Okay, now here's the deal, you guys. Will there be people that deny you the opportunity to go into those chats? Absolutely, that's going to happen at some point in time. But there is a difference between thinking about that and preparing for it and going in every single conversation with the assumption that they are going into the chat on Monday. That is just the way we do things. Period. It's how we do things. So when I have this conversation and she tells me she doesn't, my reaction doesn't need to be planned, because what is going to be is, wait, what? What do you mean? You don't want to get your products paid for? I'm telling you, girlfriend, like, you don't have to take $100 out of your bank account next month. Wouldn't that be a good thing? Why would you not want to do that? Boom. That comes from passion and belief and heart, right?
Mhm.
So then she's going to say, well, XYZ, whatever it is, her fears are going to come out, right? And then that's where you have to kick in your belief. You have to kick in your leadership style, if you will. And sometimes that's going to be completely mucked up. You're going to be doing this with them and you're going to flip, trip over your own tongue, and you're going to get all flustered and you're still going to get a no, because you're learning and growing and practicing your skill set of responding to people like that. But over time, do it enough and it will be natural. She's going to say to you, well, I don't want to tell all my friends I'm doing this. Okay, I hear you. You're nervous about what your friends will think. Is that right? About you using a product that is maybe multi-level marketing, or you using a product as a crutch to lose weight? Is that what you're concerned with? Hear what they're saying, okay? Let them know you hear them. Then when she says, well, yeah, I am worried about that. Listen, it's very well that one or two of your friends may actually have those thoughts. I can't predict what your friends are going to say, but I can tell you this. There are so many of your friends that are desperately looking for an answer, one that actually works, one that is a product that they can simply take and create the outcome that they want. And that's what we have here. And if you talk to enough of your friends, which we're going to show you exactly how to do this and make it super easy, you're going to get that outcome. You're going to find the ones who are going to say yes. And the ones who say no, it's okay. It's not their time. But you want to go after the ones that are going to say yes, and that will get you rocking and rolling. Okay? You see how you can just allow yourself
Mhm.
to know what you know in your heart and respond accordingly. Same thing, like trying to think of an analogy. Like if somebody said to you, come on now, you can't tell me that getting up every 2 hours to feed a baby is the good life and I should become a mom. Like, you're not going to look at her and go, oh, you're so right. You don't want to do that. Like, don't have kids. It's terrible. Right? You're going to look at her and say, come on now. I know that seems hard, but it is the best thing in the world. And your heart is just going to take over. You don't need pre-prepared lines of what to tell that person because you already know in your heart how amazing it is. And that's what you're going to share. And you're going to rally them back based on that or attempt to. Make sense? All of the lack of duplication that goes on by not using events in this way and not helping people to get people to invite other people, that's almost always an internal fear that you're holding on to that is coming out in how you approach other people. And the best thing that all of you can do is get out of your own way in regards to this issue. Stop looking at it as if people don't want it. You're making that decision for them before you even show up to the conversation, and then that's what's coming about. So the best thing you can do is nix that whole ideology. Just let it go and think to yourself, of course they want to share. These are amazing products, and you're going to help them believe that. And it's true, they are. So it's not hard to do. Anything else, you guys? Okay. I want to say one last thing. This will never be successful if you all aren't on board 100% with this. So even if it starts slow in the beginning, you guys are going to go talk to your teams, invite them to the Monday chat. I'll be chatting with you more about that in the next day or two. But you're going to do that. Even if it starts slow, this is a process that we just keep going. We just keep kicking it in. Keep talking to people about getting their products paid for. Keep signing new people and doing the same. And it will grow over time. But mark my words, you have to believe in what you are doing as in terms of the process and be committed to rolling that out for your teams and continuing to do that. I want to make that point. Can't be like, let's try this one time and see if it works. Got to be ongoing.
Is this starting October 3rd then? Like this coming Monday?
Oh God.
Oh, I just was
Where
curious
is
when
the
you were.
time going? Holy
I
crap.
know, it's already October.
Wow, that is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. Any other questions or thoughts?
Mm-mm.
My quiet leaders tonight. Did you all skip your MetaBurn today? I'm over here
Nope.
like, let's go.
I'm still recovering from surgery, and then of course I had to get
Yeah.
a head cold on top of it, going into week 2 of recovery.
Well, thank God you didn't get COVID or anything like that when you were in
Well,
there.
I mean, it may be COVID, but I'm not going to run out and test for it. I mean, I don't know what the point would be, but
Yeah.
thank God for my Plexus products, because I probably wouldn't even be awake right now if it wasn't for them.
Are you on X Factor Plus?
I am not. No, I just started Ease about 3 weeks ago, and I love it. It's definitely one of my new
Yeah.
faves.
It's definitely it. I try to get everyone to order Ease. Really, everyone.
I like people that have autoimmune issues like I do, which I just found out when I had my gallbladder taken out. Speaking of, that everything showed up normal on all my testing. And so they weren't going to take it out. And finally, thank goodness I work with some awesome general surgeons, and they agreed. They're like, no, I think it really does sound like your gallbladder. They got in there and basically autoimmune stuff attacked my gallbladder. Like when they did pathology and stuff on it and looked at it, they could tell it was some sort of process to do with autoimmune disease. And it had scarred up my whole, like underneath my liver and my gallbladder, and basically made it to where it wasn't functioning properly. And I had a reactive lymph node in there because of it, like in my periductal area of my gallbladder.
Wow.
Yeah,
you-
I mean,
did you-
it just shows like what inflammation can do inside your body if it's not controlled. And which is another reason why I'm like, I can't wait to, a few weeks out from now to start sharing my story of my comeback and being on these products and how they've made a huge difference. And to be honest with you, with all the pain meds I had to take afterwards, because I've had multiple abdominal surgeries, if it wasn't for these products, I truly do not feel like I would feel like I do today, a little over a week out from my surgery, as far as like pain and discomfort and everything. So
Have you shared any of those details on your social?
not yet, really. I've not really talked about it a lot. I was kind of waiting until my body got a little back to normal, because I'm going to get back to, working out and feeling good and looking good, and kind of wanted to share my results from like before having surgery and being miserable with inflammation and, more and more months on Plexus products, like how awesome it's been to change everything.
See, and I feel like the story you just told is super powerful, especially the part where you're saying that the doctors actually did not want to remove the gallbladder initially because the labs came out so well, likely as a result from you healing from this. But thank goodness it occurred the way it did, because the inflammation, the autoimmune had attacked. And then using that to kind of segue into how you've started the Ease product and how much you're loving that. Like
Yeah.
that's very powerful part of the story. And
Yeah.
definitely anybody on autoimmune FYI should automatically get Ease. Variety Pack is the way to go for an autoimmune sufferer.
Yes. Yeah, I've been telling everybody, because my family the women in my family have a long line of like autoimmune Epstein-Barr virus type stuff that goes on. And that's why I've been trying to reach out to a lot of family members, because I'm like, I know this stuff could help you, like it's helped